Story 1. After being in remission for a while in August, my cancer came back. Unlike a lot of people who are lucky, I unfortunately know what the future brings, as I am currently fighting it again. Story 2. Got turned down by my crush yesterday. I say I'm pretty devastated at the moment. But on the flip side, my year started awfully, so I guess the only way is up. Edit. I've never had so many likes, wow. Thanks for all the likes and comments. Story 3. Detoxing. I gave up smoking yesterday and the marijuana last week. I don't drink, so I'm cool. I am glad I am quitting now and not while I am at work because I think I would have destroyed and annihilated some of my colleagues. Story 4. Never been better. The universe is an entertaining place. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to live life in a way that works for me. I got bills paid. I have a nice job. I'm happy with myself. And I feel like I'm working towards a better quality of life every day. I hope I'm making a positive impact in the world. Story 5. I'm supporting my wife as her mother deteriorates due to cancer. I'm relieved to have personal support from other family members, but the grief is still there and it's growing. It's hard to keep being the shoulder to cry on, but I also know she'll be the shoulder for me too when I need it. Story 6. I'm currently undergoing testing on my blood due to dangerously low platelets and a high white blood cell count. Judgment Day tomorrow to hopefully find out if it's an autoimmune disease or worse. Happy 2025. Story 7. I asked my boyfriend if he could please spend some more quality time with me together as we don't live together yet. I needed to connect with him because we had been arguing some. He told me that he preferred to meet with his friends and that I wouldn't understand what it is like having to juggle relationships, family, work, and friendships. We had spent a nice New Year's Eve together, but he woke up on the first day of the year in an incredibly bad mood, argued politics with me, I am Jewish. And as he listed all the other things he did not like about me, I thought, yes, you are right, we need to break up. He cried because he said his past relationship 8 years ago messed him up so badly that he is people-pleasing and never gets to do what he wants, despite always refusing my suggestions and doing what he wants. This man needs therapy, honestly, and I am not there to wait for it. He can just faff off. How are you? Story 8. I objectively realize my life could be far worse, but I have been so depressed and lonely. I broke up with my ex in 2024, who I thought I would marry. I discovered she had moved on to a new serious relationship almost immediately, and what little self-esteem I had left was gone. All the things that used to bring me joy are dull and meaningless. I realized most of my so-called friends are actually just acquaintances and do not really care about me or include me in their groups. A person I was seeing tried to kill herself after I set boundaries, then stopped communicating with me. Next week they are taking out my thyroid, and I will be spending my birthday alone in my parents' basement recovering. I got written up at work for things I see my coworkers doing every single day, so now I have to come back into the office after a week instead of getting to work from home. I was planning a trip to Japan, which I can probably no longer afford to take because it would necessitate taking more time off work. Despite a large amount of therapy, journaling, and meditation, I have never been this depressed, and part of me hopes I just die on the operating table so I will not have to feel like this anymore. Story 9. Not great. I admitted to my husband that I have a problem with alcohol and he's being super supportive, but I feel like shit. I'm embarrassed and disappointed with myself. Day 1 of no alcohol. Teenage me swore I would never drink, and here I am. Story 10. Staying up last night for New Year's had left me tired today, but overall I'm doing great. Just relaxing and doing some reading. I'm planning to go for a walk later with my dog, so it's going to be a good day. Story 11. Horrible, just horrible. The same awful situation just keeps happening, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get out of it. How are you supposed to fix something when the problem takes hours of effort, taking away pretty much all of your time and energy to do anything at all? What are you supposed to do when it's a struggle to even exist? Story 12. Doing great. Love my wife. Sent her crumble cookies earlier. Kids are cute and exhausting. Potluck was good today at work. Miraculously, I don't have a major appliance or home repair getting procrastinated right now. Also, at the potluck, there was a fancy bread with a baked-in tiny baby Jesus, and I got it. Found one of my kids' toys we thought was lost under a seat in the car. so going to surprise her later. Simple pleasures, life is good. Story 13. I was doing really great. Then New Year's Eve hit me with suddenly having to say goodbye to my cat of 14 years. I felt really broken from that, but aside from that, life is good. Story 14. Life is good. I'm busy with my job, and it really helps my mind, though. But sometimes I just want to escape for a while without anyone asking me about where I was or what I was doing. Story 15. Sad, lonely, resigned. I had a conversation a few days ago with a guy I care deeply about and want a romantic relationship with. He shares the feelings but is too scared that he will hurt me and does not want to risk doing something that will make him lose me. I disagree with his stance, but I respect his choice. I made a pass at another friend I am interested in last night, and he politely but firmly shut that down. Just tired of having feelings for people without actually getting that companionship I am looking for. Story 16. After watching the documentary Hypernormalization by Adam Curtis today for the first time, I am feeling somewhat down about the reality of our dystopian future we are all living in. There is no leader with a vision out of this predicament. I'm okay, but I worry about my kids' futures. Story 17. Seriously? Quite drained, probably depressed, and scared about my future. I went through my finances recently and I'm neck deep in debt, and I might not even be able to afford the installments on all of my loans unless I work overtime. I just wanted to buy a car and be normal, you know? Apparently, it costs a lot more to own a car than it does to buy one. I've been single since high school, turning 31 this year. I'm pretty unattractive, so finding someone is very hard. All of my friends and family are married, own homes, and have some sort of stability, and I'm trying to keep afloat all by myself. No one really loves me, not even my niece whom I thought adored spending time with me, but since growing older into her teen years has pretty much brushed me off as the loser I am. We were very close, she looked up to me, and I treated her almost as if she were my own daughter. I can't enjoy anything anymore. I used to love watching movies, playing video games, and attending to my many hobbies such as fishing and scale model building. But now I can barely follow the storyline of a movie or game without becoming distracted by all of this. I'm lucky if I can get 2 hours of sleep at night. I've been prescribed 4 different types of sleeping tablets in the last month, and none of them work. So yeah, pretty drained. Story 18. Currently, dealing with dad with dementia, mother-in-law with dementia, and a used car shop taking advantage of me. So utterly difficult. But I have a care nurse on their way to be with dad tonight, so I'll at least get a brief break from existence. I just want to go home and hug my daughter, whom I haven't seen in 4 days. Story 19. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. How are you? It's a lovely day. I didn't party too hard last night. I'm fully ignoring the news for the next 4 years, and life in my corner of the universe is mostly pretty good. Story 20. I am currently acting like I am messaging someone to avoid unwanted social interaction. Some family came over for New Year's, and it is really overwhelming. Story 21. If you had asked me a year ago, the answer would have been much worse. Now I'm really good. Aside from a void in my heart that I would like to fill with a special person who doesn't exist or whom I haven't found yet. I really like myself, but if I weren't shy or anxious, my chances would probably be better. I'm satisfied that my life is going better. Story 22. Sick. Exhausted. Anxious. Been having full-on panic attacks with some frequency for a couple of weeks. Worried about finances. Worried about my parents. Very concerned and saddened by the state of politics and media. Feeling helpless and hopeless a lot of the time. Lonely but also too unhinged to feel like I can do anything about it. The usual. Story 23. If you are reading this comment, I guess you've read a lot of comments in this thread already. Now take a second and reflect on how depressing and negative a space Reddit is. Keep that in mind next time you are forming an opinion about anything if it is based on stuff you've read on Reddit. Story 24. Not great. I recently got herpes simplex virus from a person, but I think there's more going on. It looks like human immunodeficiency virus, but I have to wait another week before I can test. I'm freaking out, and there's nothing that I can do. Story 25. These comments lead me to believe that something is honestly, truly very wrong with our society at the moment. Lots of desperation, lots of loneliness. I wish everyone the best. Story 26. Pretty rubbish, to be fair. I've thought a lot about giving up, and I only stay because I know how devastated my partner would be. I have a dog and a cat that I have to look after. I have a good job, a few friends, and I'm self-employed so I can travel whenever I want to. I feel guilty for feeling like this, but honestly, if I could end it, I probably would. Story 27. Tired. It's gotten old cleaning up after people at home and going to work. Being left with tasks my coworkers couldn't be bothered to do. Going to school for a field I really don't want to be in, but my chosen career doesn't pay enough. So, my education is a slow trudge into something I don't care about. Story 28. Remarkably, I am happy and hopeful. Don't get me wrong, the last entire decade was saturated with undiagnosed bipolar disorder, family problems, hopelessness, depression, stress, diagnosed bipolar disorder, medication changes, homelessness, anxiety, bankruptcy, and rejection. And it's inevitable that those things will come up again. But I'm fond of New Year's because of the emphasis my culture brings on saying goodbye to the old and welcoming in the new. Granted, I'm still tipsy from the festivities, but I'm teary thinking about how far I've come, how much my family has gone through, how much more potential there is to fulfill. I have no friends and I hadn't spoken to even my siblings for over a year until recently. But our relationship has grown. I was so worried about being too aware and then not aware enough. But honestly, are those people ever going to know my favorite color? There is so much I've done this last year that I'm proud of. And it took me a decade to be okay with being proud of myself for the smallest steps. Happy New Year's, everyone. Be blessed, religiously or not, and welcome in growth. Story 29. Reddit isn't important, but I'm still confused as to why one person is saying that a post of mine is fake. It doesn't matter. They are a stranger, and so am I. I'm also guilty. Thank you for asking, even if what I'm saying isn't that important in the grand scheme of things. Story 30. From the perspective of a person who is doing worse, I am okay, great even. From someone who is doing better, I am okay but could be better. From my perspective, I am doing horribly on many fronts and for many reasons. I am not okay. Story 31. Not great, but I'm still breathing. I've been applying for jobs for a whole year, really starting to feel worthless. But how about you, original poster? I hope you're doing amazing in life. Story 32. I'm a ball of emotions. I'm happy because I managed to purchase my first home. I close on it at the end of the month. I'm scared because I work in a volatile industry, and while I've dodged many layoffs, one now would be problematic. I'm lonely because, well, who isn't? I'm angry because I feel like my roommate, who is my ex, is taking advantage of my kindness when it comes to keeping up the house we rent and her animals that she's never home to care for. My support network is mostly on the West Coast, and I am residing on the East Coast. It's a weird time in life. Story 33. Pretty bad for the most part. I'm disappointed in the state of the world and people, and I feel like I am too stubborn to change my static ways or social anxiety habits. Because of this, I will die alone someday and no one will love me. However, I have peace in the good things that I have, such as my family and friends. I'm just scared I am going to lose them all one day. Story 34. Scared. For the first time in my life, I'm very scared about the road ahead. I'm a disabled veteran, so hearing President Musk and First Lady Plump talk about getting rid of Veterans Affairs Medical is scary. I take care of my mother. She's on Social Security disability, another target of these two individuals. My wife is also 100% disabled and in the same circumstances. These billionaire parasites are fully intending to target the most vulnerable, and the red-hatted idiots will celebrate as that damned Obamacare goes away, all while being completely shocked when their Affordable Care Act goes with it. No amount of reassurance will help. Stop me if you've heard a few of these. He's not a real candidate. He's running for publicity. It's a PR stunt. He can't win, even Hillary can beat him. Did you hear that tape? No way can he win now. Oh no, he won. Well, he can't possibly do all the bad things he said he was going to do. Wait, he's actually putting kids in cages? Lawyers are going to have a field day. That won't last long. He's not going to build that wall. Never going to happen. These folks won't get confirmed. No way would they put these lying individuals on the Supreme Court. He'll settle in and stop with the rhetoric. Don't worry, the Democrats will, insert thing, take the House, stop him with X, responsible people in the room, etc. I could go on, but we all lived through it. Well, those with functional brain cells did. Now he will have even fewer constraints than last time. He's already hit the gas on making sure his worst impulses are satisfied. He's lining his pockets with cancer kid money. He really hates cancer kids. And the American public continues to sleepwalk through life while the country burns around them. Far too many of them are even gleefully cheering it on, like Frito in Idiocracy, when they're shooting his car. It was a funny movie, until I found myself living it. Story 35. Doing extremely well. I met some wonderful people while on a once-in-a-lifetime vacation to the Dominican Republic. We have never had a lot of money, so it has been extremely fun to have a vacation with my family.